Hi, I've had some questions about the phonics sheets and I wanted to go over these with you. So this is the first page of one of the packets. Everybody's going to get, these will come back with your student when we come back to school because we use these for each group that has this, is using this book. Um, so these should come back, but this is the first page of one of the packets. And so there's usually a little poem up here. We don't do that with the class. I don't think they need it. We start with the sound practice. So students will do this. You'll hear my voice doing this so you know what it sounds like, but don't do it with your student. They need to do it by themselves. Otherwise, they're just going to start depending on hearing what you're doing. So I would say, okay, trace it and say it. Ah, that would be the student saying it. And then the next one, do the lowercase o. Ah, right? So they're practicing the sound, right? So it's kind of like it's a physical as well as auditory activity. And then some people will have a vocabulary word here. This is mammal, so I would say this word is mammal. What word? Mammal. Then I would say a mammal is an animal that has a backbone, has hair, fur, takes care of its babies, and breathes air. That's the definition of a mammal. Some of you will have a box here that is stretch and shrink. And so what that looks like is you say the first word. Kids put their hands like this and you would say, first word is man. What word? And the kids say, man. And then you go, okay, we're going to stretch it. And we all do this together, even the teacher. Man, man. So your kids are used to doing this. So you go through all four words like that. Then we go to the sound out smoothly section. Sound out smoothly. And what happens is they have underlined. Here we do three things. We read the underlined sound, if there is one. We do say the word smoothly. That's the second one. And then we just say the word regularly. So it's going to sound like this. First word, what is the underlined sound? Ah. Back to the beginning of the word, sound it out smoothly. On. What word? On. Next one, what's the underlined sound? Ah. Back to the beginning of the word, sound it out smoothly. Not. What word? Not. And then you keep going. If there's an underlined sound, you do the underlined sound it out smoothly, and then read the word. Then we get down in the fluency section. We only do two things here, or one. If there's a word with an underlined sound, you read the underlined sound first, L. Now read the whole word, smell. So that's anytime there's an underlined sound. If there's not, like here, we just say, what word? And the student says, smack. And then you go here. Oh, here's an underlined one with an underlined sound. So say the underlined sound first, ooth. Back to the beginning, what's the whole word? Smooth. So if there's an underlined part, we do the underlined part, then the whole word. If there's not, we just do the whole word. This is not a sound out smoothly section. Sometimes they have sentence suggestions, and if you feel like your student needs that vocabulary or that sentence structure, you can read the sentence suggestions they have here. Then down here, they call these tricky words. I don't like the word tricky because I don't want my students thinking they're tricky. I just call them sight words because that's what they are basically. So if you see a word that has a star, that means they haven't seen it before. So we go through 3 steps with this. I say it, students say it with me, and then they say it by themselves. So my turn, this word is otters. Students should also be reading it off the page, not just saying it out loud. So my turn, this word is otters. Say it with me. Otters. Now read it by yourself. Otters. Then we keep going. None of these have stars, so I would say okay, and you'll hear me slow down a little bit because I want to give them some think time here. So next word, everybody. What is that word? Look. Next word, everybody. What is that word? One. And the last word, everybody. What is that word? Should. And again, you heard me say things as if I was the student, but you don't say it with them. They need to say it by themselves. If something happens and they make a mistake, we go through the 3 steps. So if, for example, instead of should, they say ship. I'll say, oh, my turn. This word is should. Say it with me. Should. Now you read it for yourself. Should. If it's some of these things up here and if it's the smooth sound that is incorrect, I would say, oh, my turn, not. Say it with me, not. Your turn, not. Okay, what is this word? Not. Or if it's the underlined sound that's wrong, I'd say, oh, this underlined sound actually is ah. Say it with me, ah. Read it by yourself, ah. So we go through those 3 steps. I give the correction. I say what's correct, because if they've made a mistake, they don't know it generally, or they've mixed it up somehow. So I say the correct one. They do it with me, and then they do it on their own. So this is basically what it's going to look like. The books, and I don't have a copy of one home. I brought everything back to school, and I apologize. The books, you'll see there's small words and big words. The small words are for you to read. The big words are for your students to read. And then there are questions built in. If your student is having trouble answering a question, go back to where the sentence where you can find that information in the story and say, let's read this sentence because you can find the information there. And sometimes they just need to hear it again or they need to read it again. If your student is really struggling, then maybe we can do a Zoom. If you go to zoom.com, you can set up an account for yourself. Sorry, it's the end of the day. But you can set up an account for yourself, and then we can do a Zoom, and I can do a Zoom with your student, and I can help them out. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I could do that for everybody, but I think I could probably do most kids, like reading in a morning, if we need to do that. I don't have all the materials here with me, but we can, we'll do our best. And if you have any other questions about anything at all, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm definitely here for that. Thanks. Bye. Oh, call me, email me, text me, message me on Class Dojo. I'm around. Bye.